Hi, I'm Frank and welcome to my woodturning channel. This week I'm going to tackle some branch burls. They're all cherry burls, and what I call a branch burl is a burl that's basically grown not on the main trunk of the tree, but just off of one of the limbs. You can see here the limb going in and out. This is an average size one. This is just a little tiny one. And this is a little bit bigger one. And basically I'm going to try to turn a vase out of these. I'm not sure if I'm going to do all of them, but because of the long thin shape, they all kind of lend themselves to a long kind of thin vase, and hopefully some of them will have openings in it. So let's see what we come up with. I'm starting all of these pieces off by squaring up the ends, and in some cases if there's a limb sticking out or whatever, I'll cut it off. You have to be really careful when you're doing this on the bandsaw so it doesn't spin on you. So I either try to have a flat surface when I'm going through the bandsaw, or I'll put some wedges or wood underneath it so it doesn't twist on me. The next thing to figure out is which is the top and which is going to be the bottom. I generally like to have these so that the fatter or wider portion is up near the top. I just like the look of that shape of vase. So most of these I'm going to put the fatter part towards the headstock. Now the next thing I have to do here is to make sure that it's centered as best I can. So I'll just keep spinning it, move the centers around a little bit until it's as balanced as I can get it. I mean, it's just approximate, so I mean, it doesn't have to be dead on, but I like to get it fairly close so it's not too bad out of round. I'm going to do all my rough shaping with a 5/8 inch bowl gouge. You can see it here, the wings are swept back. And I'm going to try a pull cut, but the surface is a little bit too rough for that, so I'm predominantly just going to use push cuts. I don't like the way this is centering up near the base, so I'm going to just move it again a little bit. And that way my tenon will be fairly centered on the base, and the rest of the piece will just end up the way it is. You do want to stop this every once in a while just to see how things are coming along. And just see how the shape is progressing. Now this piece of burl, this particular one, had quite a lot of soft punky areas. So I'm just dousing it with some CA glue here as best I can. Now I'm just using a bedan tool to size up a tenon. I'm going to use these deep tower jaws that One Way makes for their chucks. I find they're really good for these long, thin vases. You just get so much more holding power, I think. Here's 4 of the pieces all roughed out. They're all various shapes, but fairly similar profiles. This is the largest diameter one. It's about 6 inches in diameter. You can see that long tenon again on these tower jaws. This will help to reduce vibration in this long, thin piece. Normally I would leave the base of this hollow form much thicker, larger diameter to provide more rigidity, but this is what I had to work with because this burl sort of came in and out on a small branch. Once I have the basic profile the way I like it, I'm going to use a tool like this. This is a 1/2 inch detail gouge. And I'll use this to get a really good surface, just going very slow, trying to minimize any ridges or lines in the piece. Now I'm just squaring up the very top. First I started with the parting tool, and then I'm going to do a finished clean cut with a little 3/8 inch spindle gouge. And I'll just show you another view of the same cut. Oh, I think I might have had a catch there. Yeah, I'll just repair the little lines and we're good to go. I'm going to use a combination of 1-inch drill and 1.5-inch drill on these pieces. With the 1-inch drill, I'm going to drill down to the final depth. But with the 1.5-inch depth, or 1.5-inch drill rather, I'm just going to go down maybe 3/4 of the way, to again just to leave some rigidity in the base of this hollow form while I'm hollowing it out. I'm going to use my Stihl Sinner hollowing rig for this. It uses a small little 3/16 inch square cutter, so it'll put minimal pressure on the walls of this hollow form, and I'll just take small light cuts and just keep working away at it until I get my desired wall thickness. I do add the laser to this rig once I get in a little further. I really should be using a steady rest here, and I do have one on order. I have a Vicmark one on order with branches to bowls out in Calgary, but it's not in yet, so I'll just have to make do and just take light cuts and be really careful. Once the hollowing is finished, I'm going to move on to sanding, and here you can see there is a little opening that I did end up getting in the piece. They always look a little more interesting if you can get an opening happening in these sort of natural edged bark burl vases. Next, I need to take off the bottom tenon area, and I can use either a cone or this is actually a little vacuum chuck, and I can stick it in it. So two of these I'm able to use a cone because the top surface is totally round, and a few of the others have live edge on the top, so I can't really use the cone, and in that case I will use the other chuck, which is really just a vacuum chuck, but I'm using it just to hold the piece while I turn the bottom. If you're enjoying the video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Again, I'm going to finish this base off with a 3/8 inch spindle gouge. I just find you get a much cleaner cut across end grain like this. And that way it requires minimal sanding and you don't get a lot of tear out. I'm just going to use a Fordham tool with a little carbide burr on it. This is like a cuts-all type of burr, and then just grind away the little nib that was there. Normally I would finish these pieces with spray lacquer, but because of the cold season I can't really get outside to do this. So I'm just going to use my salad bowl finish on these. And my first coat, I'll just do it all by brush. Normally I would just coat the rough areas by brush and then do the rest with paper towel rather. But in this case, I may as well just do the whole thing with the brush, and then so I put on the first application and then wipe it off. And I'll do this 2 or 3 times until I get the finish I like. Coming up are some images of this main piece that I finished and some of the others. Thanks for watching.